Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Accelerator. Brandon here, your Chief Business Strategy, coming to you with probably I'm going to be a little bit biased and say it's going to be my favorite episode ever. Only for the simple fact is this is an actual client that I'm going to be speaking with you here today. I have Miss Crystel Saturday joining us, and we're going to talk about some awesome things that she's been able to do in the past 2 months. And I can't take any of the credit for it because she's the absolute rock star when it comes to what she's done and grown before I even jumped in to help her out. You see, Miss Crystel is an up-and-coming rock star in the fitness accountability space. And I'm not going to tell all of her thunder. I'll let her tell her story. But what she has done here in the past 2 months has been nothing short of amazing. So, Crystel, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me tonight. And yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is actually going on that has you like literally shooting to the moon overnight.
Thank you so much, Brandon. What an amazing introduction. So like you said, I'm Crystel Saturday, and I am a 39-year-old mom of two. I had my second son. He's now 1.5 years, and my eldest is almost 4. And found myself last year postpartum once again having gained weight after the baby. So I kept packing it on, and in January this year, I'd had enough and, just started making changes in my life and kept doing that and lost a lot of the weight naturally. And about August of this year, I had joined the 75 Hard Challenge to amp up what I had been doing and had started sharing that on my personal page, and realized I was getting a lot of interest and questions on what I was doing. And on a complete whim, I took it public and created the Commit to Change with Crystel. And from there, I just shared my journey, before and after pictures that were completely vulnerable to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a chick to be scantily clad on the internet at all, even in person. And so putting that out there was such a huge leap for me, but it had a phenomenal response. And I just started sharing my tips in these 10 steps because I wanted to break it down for people who might have been having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And about step 6 is a reel that I shared, and it went viral. We're at 1.8 million views. And then my page just exponentially grew over this 2 months now. I just started the Instagram page,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just gone crazy. And so, you and I met over this crazy journey, and here I am on your podcast.
Yeah, so we met in, was it one of the ClickFunnels groups, right? I think it was maybe the main ClickFunnels group there, and you were having issues with the tech stack?
To put it politely.
Yeah. I know you're super frustrated with trying to get everything set up as well as being the creator and getting people what they wanted, because after you made that video, right? People were going to your funnel page to download that lead magnet, and they weren't getting it, right?
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't even really know what I was doing. After sharing all of these steps with people, I had decided to create a challenge, 60 New, to engage more people who are afraid to attempt those other challenges that are so rigorous. And I created this cute little PDF tracker I wanted to share with people. And my husband knew about ClickFunnels just a little bit. And so we tried our hand at it. And oh man, I spent a week spinning my wheels, and he gave me you should go to the ClickFunnels Facebook group and ask for help. And that's where I just kind of poured my heart out and like, somebody please help. I've set up funnels. They're not working correctly. I think I know what I'm doing, but I absolutely don't. I really think it was just perfect timing you coming across, because there's been so many things that have overlapped that with your history and what I'm doing now that have been just, have really shot it over the moon. I think for me, I think you had such a variety of knowledge and exposure with different people's funnels. And so you kind of knew what it was going to help me. And that's, I had the interest, but I was like, what do you do with it?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. You had a bunch of people raising their hands and they were opted in like absolute madhouse crazy. And the issue was with the just simple deliverability. And what many people don't know and understand is if you don't have your tech stack foundation set up right when it comes to your domain email, and you don't have the proper tags on the back of it, the emails are going to hit the spam box if they even get sent out at all. Now, I personally think ClickFunnels is easy because they do everything in their power to make it as easy as possible for you to get set up and online, connect a domain, and then be ready to send out that first email. However, there are other factors that play into making sure that it does hit that inbox, both from ClickFunnels systems as well as you just sending and communicating normal emails, because you were getting such a massive uh, uh, what response to the lead
yeah.
magnet, and you were sending an email out so quickly and frequently that the email servers thought you were spamming everybody. So
They thought
that's
I was stealing personal information.
yeah, they thought you were spamming everybody, so everything was hitting the junk mail, and it took a minute to slow down, um, get everything set up right, making sure that they had the proper security tags on the back end from the paid. Well, you use Microsoft Outlook, right? So
Yes.
making sure you have the proper tags on your domain for Microsoft Outlook, so those servers know you're good. That will then translate over to the Google servers. And once everybody knows you're kosher and good, then all the emails have started to hit the inbox. And then obviously instructing people to make sure to mark it not spam, and we'll move to the inbox and then reply to the email. It warms it up, and that way you build that know, like, and trust factor with the email servers so that it hits the inbox. So a little bit of tip there for you if you're struggling to hit the inbox. That's what you got to do. So again, what was like the main inspiration behind creating the challenge? I know you mentioned that you wanted to make it easy for people to kind of get in, because you did the 75 hard, right? What
Yes,
what
I did.
what do you think of that program, and how did it kind of inspire you to do the 60 new?
So I have a love-hate relationship with 75 Hard. I definitely love the changes that I saw in myself, and
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of it was definitely a mental challenge, but the fitness aspect of it, while I liked, that it helped to catapult me, get me into shape. I did not like the mental anguish that you go through every single day of what's the weather like, if your children's are not, coordinating with your schedule of getting that done, or if you just physically need a full rest day, which our bodies do. I did not agree with that aspect of it. And then I did not like that if you missed one task, that it was a complete failure, because there's just so much, negativity around the diet culture and like trying to lose weight as it is. And so just adding that extra, um, just undue pressure for me. I felt like that was not how I approached my weight loss journey all year long.
Mhm.
And I felt like that was kind of one of the ingredients of my secret sauce, is that ability to give myself grace and to listen to my body and to understand that life is happening. And so um, all of those kind of realizations coming out of 75 Hard, having completed it, and then looking back on wondering if maybe I didn't complete it. And like I started beating myself up because there were things that like maybe I didn't do exactly as the rules said. And I was like, this isn't who I am, first of all. And second of all, like if I'm going through this and I'm mentally, what I thought to be strong, and I'm going through that kind of anguish about it, I could only imagine women who are already battling and are looking for somebody to be that encouragement instead of that, no, you failed because you missed something. And so for me, when I would talk to people about doing 75 hard, it was always, I could never do that. I could never do that. And I hate that phrase. I could never. It's
Yeah.
something I said so much myself last year, and I'm just trying to get away from it and help other people get away. And it was in October and had been toying around with something to get people engaged and like, trying to implement the steps that I was sharing. And it just kind of came to me of like, there's 60 days until the new year, 60 new, something catchy, something, 60 to the new you. And 60 new was born. And I was like, okay, now what do I like about the things that I do every day now? I like that I read before I scroll in the morning, and I like that it's not a fiction book. It's something that, sets my mind in a positive, productive, healthy mindset for the day. Then, of course, I love that I drink water. So that's, another habit in that. And then, that I move regularly. I feel like we often are quick to say that we're doing this workout program and that we're doing it, and then we quit. And then if we miss one day, we beat ourselves up. And so part of it, I wanted to encourage people to get moving every day. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. And you keep going the next day, please, like keep going after your goals, because at the end of the day, the secret sauce to what I did is that I just was consistent. I
Mm-hmm.
was every day committing to, even if I fell off the wagon yesterday, if I had more than I should have, today's a new day. Let's keep going, because the reality is a lot of the times that it's not one meal, it's not one day that we lost our health or that we lost our way. So that was just something that I felt like 60 New can help bring an empowerment to people, that they can say they're doing this challenge and they're doing all the steps, and it's okay if they have a hiccup, because they're getting the encouragement that they need and they're picking up and doing it again. And that is what we're seeing. We're seeing the people that are joining the groups that are cheering each other on, and they're talking about their hardships, they're talking about their wins. And so it grew into something I never imagined in a million years. All I wanted to do was inspire people, because I really feel like what I did was doable for others.
Absolutely. And that you mentioned one key word that I hope everybody caught there: the consistency with it, just sticking with it to the very end. Even if you do fall down, get back up and do it again. So what have been some of the biggest challenges though that you faced in starting this out? Because I know it wasn't easy peasy lemon squeezy from the first time you hit go, right?
From me trying to lose weight and
No, just for what you're doing now in getting into the business side of it, I guess, with the coaching and inspiring others and trying to help them out.
so honestly, a major obstacle for me has been sharing information to people individually. That has been, I've had such a huge outreach. And I mean, every time I open my app, it is 100 new likes, 100 new followers, you know, 20 new comments, 15 new messages. And this is every time I open my phone throughout the day. And so for me, it's been a lot of trying to actually help the people that are being inspired by what I'm sharing. And, using the ClickFunnels site was my way of helping to streamline the communications with the tracker, with the meal plans that I created, the meals that we eat and I know that work. So I think that's been major. The biggest obstacle for me has been the actual, helping the
Hmm.
additional help to people and getting them the resources that I know will, also empower them to take the same journey.
Hmm. And since you started and really kicked this off, like who has shared something that has been super memorable that like just sticks out to you right now, from your story and how you inspired them?
Gosh, it's hard to pick one. Honestly, there's been so many women that have reached out, and um, sorry, I'm like I'm getting kind of teary eyed about this, because it's been so many people that have reached out. and they're losing not only weight, but they're losing that negative mindset that they've had for a long time, that they couldn't do it. And that because they were in their 50s or in their 60s or in their 40s, whatever their ages were, because they had kids, because their life got hard, they gave up. And so I think just the overarching story that they're all telling me is that I was somebody that they could relate to, and it gave them hope.
Mm-hmm.
And they got up and started, and I see the joy. Like, I can see the pictures that they're posting. Like, a woman I joked, who does stand out in my mind, that I can see on her pictures, her smile gets bigger and bigger every time, just a little bit. But I joke, we're going to have an ear to ear smile by the end of it. And then, of course, we've got other huge success stories. Like, another woman's lost almost 10 pounds over 3 weeks of following me. Another woman, 7 pounds in 2 weeks. So it's been a tremendous response, a ton of positive response. And, you know, those people are really kind of just every day re-inspiring me to continue to share and to try to get out the information that's in my head onto these platforms.
Right, right. And so, with what you're doing, what is your coaching style, so to speak, that is going to be setting you apart from the others in the industry?
So far, what I've heard from people is that they like my kind of a kind approach, I guess, and not so, I guess, rigorous, or like you're not ever being punished by me. Whenever you tell me that you didn't do something, I'm like, okay, well, let's understand why. Like, let's dive into that, because I know for a fact from myself that if somebody came in already bashed me or made me feel worse for something I already know that I felt like I missed the ball on,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to defeat my spirit. It's going to defeat my want to say, I'm going to try again. And so I don't want ever to be somebody to loathe or like to fear having a conversation with me. I want them to say, okay, let's talk to Crystal. Let's figure this out. And so that is what my aim is. And my approach with coaching is that I want to make people feel empowered in their own ability to problem solve and their own ability to look into what the real reason is, and to be more introspective on why they're making the choices and, eating the things they are, or, doing the things they are, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that's great from like a personal side, but what are you using to leverage that from a technology standpoint? That's one helped you that you've recently shared with the people that you're following or that's following
Oh,
you.
yeah. Yes. So if I could say one, it's definitely the app MacrosFirst. It's a phenomenal app to help me with. That's what I used during my journey of 75 hard with the diet I had to stick to. I ate for my macros. And the great thing about it is that the app allows you to set your current activity level, your current weight, and then what your goals are. And it'll tell you how many calories to eat, and of that, what should be protein and things like that. And so that technology has helped to communicate as well with other people on how they can also look through, from that same lens. And then, of course, utilizing ClickFunnels to be able to help disseminate all of the documents and things I want to help people with. That's definitely been super helpful on the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and if you want that app, as you know, guys, it's going to be in the description. So be sure to download that and get tracking, because if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't track it, you never make the change, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's, if you're eating something, you lying about it and not tracking it is gonna, it only hurts you. And I feel like when I put it in there, I'm not having like a moment of whether or not I should punish myself. It's, let me just understand what this food is. What's the
Mhm.
quality of it? What kind of, energy am I really, going to get from it? And it gives me, I've learned so much from using the app. I never really thought about the protein content of food or things like that. So that's why I love it. And it's easy. It's a very easy, user friendly app.
Now, you said you started this back, what, beginning of this year. Uh, you were probably more than 80 pounds overweight and you had to do something, right? How often did you struggle staying accountable to yourself? And what advice would you give somebody that's currently struggling to stay accountable to their goals?
Um, the biggest struggles that I had often came from, um, I am with my kids all the time. I'm a stay-at-home mom for most of the time, and
Mm-hmm.
um, often I felt like I was running and going all day long, and so then I would want to, have that comfort binge time at the end of the night. And so for me, the hardest struggle, and still to this day, is not having that dessert and that, because I had that growing up almost every single night. So
Mm-hmm.
this is like a lifetime of a habit to break. But it's just, had a compound effect later on. And so for me, it's definitely been the entitlement feel that you have when you're stressed and you're like, I deserve something for what I just went through. I deserve something to feel delicious in my mouth because that hits all those receptors, that fires off all those things, and I'll feel good for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow
Yeah.
morning, did I need that? Was that necessary? And so instead of hating myself and like hiding from myself, I got real honest and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, what I eat at night, my body wears during the day. Point blank, period. So if I lie to myself, it doesn't matter. It's still there. And that's not my goal. That's not who I want to be. I don't feel good eating like that all the time. I don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I had to have that really hard daily conversation of, yeah, it's going to taste good, but then how do you feel afterwards? Not even just emotionally, but, gastrointestinally. And then also, you just feel sluggish. So, it's a constant battle. Even now, I want McDonald's greasy, nasty fries and, nasty burgers that aren't even really meat. I want it and I smell it when I walk by, but I'm like, Ryan, you're making burgers tonight. I need you to make burgers at the house. So that's kind of, the struggles are definitely still there, but I lean heavily on replacing it with something that's just not trash food.
Right.
You know,
So switching gears a little bit here, let's talk about the actual business itself that you're growing here. How much research did you do ahead of time before you decided to jump into the deep end and start this accountability coaching?
so not a lot of research.
No.
No, I'm going to be completely transparent here. I followed other fitness, influencers and other fitness coaches, and I saw a lot of the certifications that they obtained and things like that, and I just felt like that wasn't the path that I wanted to go down,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like what I did, a lot of it had to do with I held myself accountable, because that's what consistently people said was that you were so committed, and I continued to be committed. And I realized that a lot of it had a lot to do with my ability to hold myself accountable,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, but to be kind to myself. And that was also something I worked on during the year, is being my inner voice is not being mean. And so I started to, when I was sharing my journey, I was accidentally coaching people and helping them. And it came on as a demand of, please be my accountability coach. Please be my accountability coach. I need help. I need somebody who has your approach to talk to me on a weekly basis and just help me troubleshoot and be the the bird's eye view while I'm down here in the weeds. And and I, did a couple people pro bono because I was like, let me figure out what I'm
Yeah.
doing. And it launched from there. And I just, I don't want to, I want to continue to share my journey with people, the tips that I've done for those that can take it and run.
Mhm.
But for those that need extra detail and that they want more of exactly how did you do it, please walk me through it and help me to stay accountable while I'm doing it. That demand grew for me. And so here we are.
So then where do you see the future of accountability coaching heading then I guess as an industry itself?
I feel like we might see a lot more people leaning in on this niche because it's not necessarily focused on just a weight loss goal because that's attained
Mhm.
and it's gone. But often in that journey, you need somebody who's helping you problem solve other goals that you achieved or are trying to achieve. And I feel like it turns into a little bit of a life coach slash, like progress coach. I can't think of the term right now, but it helps you to do better in other ways of your life, having somebody that you look forward to talking to. And so I feel like because of we see a huge growth in mastermind groups and people
Mhm.
that are trying to network. But sometimes, especially myself, I'm an introvert, if you can believe it. I do not like big group settings. I don't like, um, you know, in big social groups all the time. And so, to talk with somebody one on one and having like a coach that you can talk with about things that are going on, I feel like we're going to see more and more of that, especially virtual with, the way the world is. We have a lot of virtual working opportunities.
So strategy wise then, um, you know, uh, before you did uh, the accountability coaching here, you did have another career. I know we really didn't get into it, but I mean, I know it because we've talked about the real estate deal. But strategy wise, what did you put in place? I guess maybe transitioning from the real estate into the accountability coaching to kind of grow this so quickly.
The strategy as far as my social media.
No, just key business strategies that you've used to kind of grow this practice so quickly.
Oh, yes. So, first and foremost, it is customer relationships and talking with your customers, one on one contact with them. When people are commenting on my posts, when they're sending me messages, I take the time to actually connect with them and find out what is going on and not just brush them off. And so that I think helped a lot with the attraction of what I was putting out there was when they messaged me, they were getting me responding back
Mhm.
and giving them, sharing the information. And as a realtor, I know a lot about homes. And so that's what my job was, to share that with clients. And so now I want to do that with people who are potentially on the same journey as I am with weight loss or, mindset shift, whatever the case is, or they're achieving major goals. I feel like my ability to follow up with the customers and, make sure that we're really listening to what's going on and not just saying, oh, rubber stamp, here's your answer, I'm moving on. I think that really resonated with people.
Mhm.
And then of course, utilizing social media to share the information. I'm definitely on nearly all of the social media platforms to get the information out there for whoever is getting it, whatever way. It's a different demographic all around.
Mhm. And so, how are you ensuring then for the future of your client retention and satisfaction? I mean, what systems and processes are you putting in place now to ensure that your clients stay and continue to pay?
So, through when they are signing up for any of the free resources that I offer to them, any of the free meal plans, the 60 new tracker, they are then invited to join my newsletter mailing list, and so they can get up-to-date information on things happening there. I have a podcast as well. So I'm sharing a lot of details there, but that will also be linked through the newsletter. And then, of course, we have a email drip that we keep everybody updated on, my journey, my backstory, other things we've got going on. Then, of course, reaching out regularly to them to see, those that I've already have relationships with. And then, of course, fun doing a blog post. So that's, you're just going to find me everywhere on the internet. So.
There you go. The omnipresence is there to build that foundation. And, I preach the same things. We're learning from the same mentor and Russell, when it comes to that flywheel, so to speak, and the linchpin methodology. I don't even think you knew you were really following it or doing it, but you were doing it because you came in. If I'm looking at this thing right, I don't know. I got one of the notebooks here. Remind me, I think I have your address to send you one of these things here, but the linchpin playbook here. We haven't gone into it in depth, but you're following it when it comes to your dramatic demonstrations, your lives that you're doing, and you're getting them on the email newsletter list. Those are the number two, those are the two things that need to be done to, to keep people around. And you're doing your shorts, your longs, you're talking to other influencers, trying to network with other people in the space, to get things rolling. But before this all kind of happened and went down, you mentioned that you were kind of somewhat in the ClickFunnels world and knew about Russell. Who other mentors or influencers impacted you to pursue this and is kind of influencing your overall philosophies?
So my husband had, kind of got into the ClickFunnels educational, reels and stuff like that. He was learning, and he had mentioned it to me when, for our real estate business, and I just did not take action on it. Mm-hmm. I didn't really understand what it was, to be frank. And so I was like, okay, brushing it aside. And then with this happening, simultaneously, I'd come across, what's her name? It's Alex Hermosi and his wife, Dana. Is that? Layla. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And I came across one of their posts, one of their shorts, and she's telling you what she would do. Her, if she would to make her first million, I think it was, or first 3 million, she would do X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, affiliate marketing, all of that kind of stuff. That's, you're seeing that everywhere. People pushing products. And so it just kind of didn't exactly resonate with me, but she kind of did. And then I came across more of Alex's videos as well. And so it turned out that they were part of ClickFunnels. Yeah. But then something I did not know, that is the original person that has resonated with me, is old lady boss herself, Kaylin. I remember that chick from years ago. Mm-hmm. And I think, I don't know, is it MySpace time maybe? I don't know. That might be too long ago. That might be dating myself. But I guess everybody knows I'm 39. Anyway, so she definitely, I like her, this is who I am kind of, personality. I also like that about Alex and Layla as well, that, just not trying to put on airs. I can't do it. That's, I can be a little refined. Mm-hmm. But I just would like to be authentically me. That's easier.
Yeah, absolutely. The authentic self is best, because once people figure out who you are, the facade can fall very quickly, and you can't ever get it back. So the truth is always the best. Yes. Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned Lady Boss there, because I know when we were kind of scheming, so to speak, on the direction to take it. You had these funnels, right? But you didn't have the funnel hub to put everything in. And I was like, we got to get that up and running as quickly as possible. You need to have a quote unquote website, even though websites are dead, as Russell says. Um, his latest iteration of ClickFunnels brings that back in, and you can thank the groups over at Agency Coach during one of their masterminds was like, hey, all of these people here are millionaires, but if you Google them, they don't show up because they didn't have what's called the shadow funnel in place. So that's, if you want to learn more about the shadow funnel, I think I did a podcast or something like that before. Just find it and go back there. Anyway, so with that, you got to have the website in place, right? To drive people to your homepage so they know, like, and trust you for who you are. Get them to sign up for the newsletter. And so I was like, I've been in the ClickFunnels world. In fact, the One Funnel Away Challenge, Kaylin was the spokesperson for it. Pretty much, she was the one telling her story on how she grew her fitness program from nothing to $1 million, and she was the one selling the the 1997 annual or the 997 annual deal to ClickFunnels. I was like, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna copy her, and not copy, right? We're not copying, but we're modeling, that against what she is doing and growing it from there. So I just thought it was kind of neat when I brought that up, and the light bulb, went off in your head. It's like, I know who that person is, right?
It's like, oh my gosh, it's almost like an old crony you're bringing up. I was like, what? Yep. I remember that chick, the puff of powder in her face.
Yep. So just guys, take note of that. Like, you don't have to do anything from scratch because there's a ton of people that have already done it before you, that have already copied other people before them. Just do what they're doing, but don't copy. Just don't copy.
Make it your own.
Make it your own. Model it. Make it your own.
Yes.
Because the person you don't want to be is the one in the front with all the arrows in the back. And I learned that a couple years ago at, I think, the first funnel hacking live that I went to. So with all of that, you got a lot going on. I know we had a conversation a couple of days ago, and you were kind of freaking out there a little bit. Not to call you out there for that.
Jerk.
How are you maintaining that healthy work-life balance there with all this going on?
I'm not.
I didn't think you were.
I'll tell you, I actually, and you can attest to this, I am a stickler for what I'm doing and what I'm sharing is great. But if I don't continue on my own journey of maintaining my own schedule of, I get my morning workout in on most days, I get my evening workout in, I get my meals and stuff in, and I spend time with, my family, and I'm present. So I will crunch in what I need to do for this into the time that I need to. And some days are far off balanced, and some days I have a nice balance. But, I don't want anybody to ever think we're all doing it all. I'm losing my mind. I'm crying in closets. But I'm getting back up the next day. I'm doing it again. Not the crying part, the going for my goals.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I had to talk you off of one or two cliffs in the past week or two. Because
probably 5.
Probably 5, yeah, because it is tough. And I think I shared with you one of Alex's videos. I made a clip of it, and he drew a sine curve. I think it's a sine curve. I failed advanced trig, but you're at the peak a couple weeks ago, right? You were like pumped, and then this week you were kind of sliding downhill there, going into the valley. It's like
the valley of despair.
Do I even want to do this anymore? I'm going to do something different. I was like, no, stop it. We're fine.
So I'll tell you, that's the thing about me. I quit verbally. I will quit verbally, but it takes a lot for me to quit physically.
Good. So we're all good there. No, she's not going anywhere, folks. She's fine, but we'll get her straightened out here. So, when it comes to this coaching deal, I mean, I'm kind of coaching you and doing some technical stuff on the back end, when it comes to the things that you should be doing and the steps to put in place as the business continues to grow here. But what are some of the, misconceptions that you've heard about, or people have kind of said to you about the whole accountability coaching thing? Or the negative Nancy that?
Oh, okay. They're like, what is accountability coaching? Like what, my husband jokes about that. He's like, the great thing about it is like, if people are going to troll you, it's going to be like, oh, you're going to hold me accountable? Oh, that's what you're going to do? Yeah. I'm going to help you to do what you said you're going to do. So I feel like it's actually, I haven't gotten that many negative responses. If anything, I've gotten a lot of people booking the calls to find out, how I can to help them. But the only real negative stuff that I get are people just like being keyboard trolls at, nothing they would actually say to your face. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. I went through some of the comments there, especially towards your newer stuff. When you actually started promoting after you've already done nearly 2 months worth of free stuff, right? You decided to move on with it and move up with it, as anybody should. Is there something wrong with helping people out and actually going, deeper, deeper and monetizing your knowledge? In fact, I mean, that's where a lot of, I would say, business is going, is monetizing the knowledge.
oh, you're
I mean,
talking about those negative Nancy's.
yeah. So you have that. You have that
Oh, okay.
in
Let's
play
call
too.
them out. Let's go ahead and
Yeah.
call, yes. So, those are the ones that are like, oh, you're not selling anything. You went quick from not selling to one-on-one coaching. And I was like, yeah, the demand came in real quick too. I can't spend my time for free answering hundreds of messages, even more comments. I probably get 500 comments a day. I, I at least get, even outside of my like channels that I created, I was offered the subscription service to try to hone down the people messaging me. Like I did it. I tried to do it, in a way to help them. And still I get a ton there. And it became a point where my husband literally had to come to Jesus, talk to me and said, look, you can't continue to do this and have this many people asking for your help and not do something with it.
Hmm.
You either have to shut the page down or you need to take it to that next level. And people, you're going to know when the demand is there. It'll be very clear. And it came in like a siren. And so, I am sorry that I started the page off. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually, that I started the page off with my free tips, and people are asking to help me to, make major changes. And honestly, I value myself and I value my time, because what I have to share, I have compiled over my years from, not only just this fitness journey, but I come from corporate America. I have my bachelor's degree in accounting. I went to night school for that. Like I'm a hustler. I know what it takes to grind, and I know what it takes to stay committed. Like weight loss isn't the only thing that I've shown, you know, commitment to, and that I know what commitment can do for us. And so I feel like at this point, I'm now able to flex a lot of my, business acumen muscles that I have from, my corporate accounting, my realtor, all of these different aspects of business where am now seeing, B2B interactions, customer interaction, things like that. And um, I'm a businesswoman at the end of the day, when it comes down to it. And so it made complete sense to do something that I love,
Hmm.
helping people. And if they want me to help them in depth, then let's go. I will be your accountability coach.
There you go. There you go. So then, when it comes to client selection for the coaching, how are you determining if the client is going to be a good fit for your overall style?
That's a great question. And I do have uh, kind of a soft but direct way of when I'm interviewing them. I want to find out how honest they're going to be with me, because it doesn't hurt me if they lie to themselves and lie to me. I don't. I'm not affected by this. It's not my goal that's being missed out on. And
Hmm.
so the thing that dive into is I will find out how much information they're willing to share based on the information they've told me. So for example, if they told me that they only ate 1,200 calories for this day, but they, or they've only done that for the last whatever, and they've never lost any weight, then I'll ask them, okay, well, send me screenshots of exactly what you're eating or send me what have you. And if they're not willing to share that data and to be accountable to what they're saying, then they're not a client for me, because I can't help you if you're not going to be honest. And so that's been the people that there's only been a handful, I think, so far, but in the messages, they just kind of trickle out because I'll push and ask for more data and I don't get it. And so I'll just move on to, the people that do, and we get on those calls and start helping them.
Yeah. So then what metrics or indicators are you using to, judge the success of the coaching you provide?
So first and foremost, it's definitely how they start feeling. I know that that's not a metric you can actually, put in quantifiable terms,
Right.
but if it's something that's important, as when you're helping people in their life, the light and the joy that you hear and see from them when you talk to them every time, like that, Crystal, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to tell you this. So more and more of that excitement coming is always a good sign. Of course, then them telling me that they're sticking to the regimen and they're losing, I've got a woman, like I said, over 2 weeks lost 7 pounds. And so that metric of, if their goal is to lose weight, then how are they doing that? If we've got a goal for them to only eat, certain amount of calories, we're looking at that. We're tracking the things that will help them meet their goals in specifics. And, for a lot of people, they're coming to me for fitness and weight loss, and for, help and coaching, but there have been other goals that people have in there as well. So we, depending on what it is.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, again, as we mentioned before, if you don't track it, you know, then expect what you inspect, or inspect what you expect. It goes something like that, right? But definitely, write it down, hold yourself accountable to making sure you write it down. And,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not paying attention to it, it's gonna go by the wayside. So then,
Literally.
so you've been at this portion, of your journey for about 2 months now. So you're kind of new in the sense for what you're doing to monetize it and grow it. What advice would you give somebody that is just starting out, or even maybe just thinking about going down the same path that you're taking right now at this moment?
With growing their social media account?
No, like with growing their business or becoming an accountability coach or some type of coach in general.
So I definitely would say to definitely do some research on people that find people that inspire you. That helped me along the way, was having kind of people that I respected and wanted, to listen to on how not only they grew their business, but the ways that they did it the right way, and also the wrong way. I wanted to learn from their things that they did wrong. But also, people that are going on this journey of their wanting to help others, is to kind of really evaluate what the reason is for, their journey. Because at the end of every day, it's a hard day to, go about, into everybody's personal lives, especially as an empath. It's hard to go in and out of that and not kind of take it on. And so you have to remember why you're doing it. Make sure that your reason is a good one and that it's going to carry you through, because, starting off on this journey and then quitting is not just quitting you're on yourself. It's quitting on all the people that you've promised to help. And so that's a pretty big responsibility to take on. And then I also definitely recommend to partner with subject matter experts. That's definitely something that you have in corporate America. That's many people that do well in their businesses, is they don't try to be all and know all. They lean in on Me kind of grouping in with a nutritionist, because I'm not a certified nutritionist, but that doesn't mean that I don't have them in my team to help people that need them.
Mhm.
So definitely building a network to help you, to give people a more well-rounded coaching experience so that they aren't just feeling like they got the information, but now they might need some more in-depth, um, you know, level of, look at things on like nutrition, for example.
Mhm. Right on. And as you're growing this and you're, building your tech stack up to kind of help automate a lot of the systems so you keep your sanity, right? What are some of the favorite tools that have helped you, along this journey?
So I have been using Repurpose IO helps quite a bit with helping, share some of the information along the way. Of course, the ClickFunnels, what was it, the newsletter that we're doing and in a
Hmm.
blog and things like that. And I'm drawing a blank. You have to help me out. What else have we been using?
I mean, you mentioned the Macros app in the beginning there, so we have
Yes.
that. That's a big part of it as far as.
Yes, the MacrosFirst app is, I mean, that's honestly like so helpful for me to streamline, helping people to calculate their macros because it can look at it from um, different vantage points of your activity level, and you can even kind of change that too, which is great. You can have, your rest days built in there. So that'll help you with, okay, I can eat more calories on, Monday through Friday, but I rest on Saturday, Sunday, whatever the case is.
Yeah, yep. And then scheduling wise, you took me up on getting set up on Setmore uh, as a booking app. And what's nice about Setmore is depending on how you want to use it, I mean, you can actually take payments directly from the booking. Like if somebody just wanted to book a 15 or 30-minute session there for a one-off, I mean, you can charge right then and there, for one-off sessions, which is nice. And then, on even more advanced pro versions of it, you can have somebody fielding phone calls that we want to call in and book. So there's tons of things you can do there, and Setmore works in a number of different industries. It's not just for coaching and things like that. So definitely check them out for all of your booking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
they've been really helpful actually. It integrates with my Google Calendar seamlessly. Like the moment somebody books, I get, an email, but then it's already on my calendar, which is fantastic. And then of course the payment, portal through there is very helpful as well because it's, people are booking, they can pay. It's not, go to another site to pay or anything.
Absolutely, and one of the things that's kind of coming to mind right now is a story that Alex told in one of his reels or shorts, to where he was at a gas station and this guy was hustling cologne, um, and walked up to him and tried to sell him some, but he didn't want it, but he was going to give him $20 anyway to just because of the hustle, right? And he was like, "Okay, let's go. I don't have any cash. Just swipe a card." And he was trying to get his buddy to give him the deal. He was trying to make a sale, and he ended up losing the deal because he couldn't process money. So that's a key tip.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a way to process money right then and there, then you're going to end up losing the deal. So, have multiple ways. You can process through ClickFunnels, you can process through Setmore, and then obviously you can set up your, business banking and process through there through invoices as well. So, it's a tip for everybody. Have multiple ways to process money.
Have a way for people to pay you. Very important.
Have a way, yes, have a way for people to pay you. All right, so we're coming down to the end of it here, Crystal. This has been an absolutely amazing episode. Appreciate you sharing your journey and what you're doing, and how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. So, what is one final message you'd like to leave the listeners today when it comes to one, personal growth, business growth, and accountability?
My motto. Remember, you haven't failed. You just need to try again.
There you go. That's absolutely amazing. Because again, you only fail when you quit. That's really
Yes.
That's really the only time that you fail. So
Or when you die, and so
that's,
if you're not dead, keep going.
that's
If you
it.
want it, just keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, again, this has been the Business Growth Accelerator here with Brandon, your chief business strategist. I want to thank you for taking your time to listen. And as always, everything we talked about, all the resources are going to be in the description below. So be sure to check those out. If you like what you heard today, leave a comment or shoot me a message. Let me know what you thought about the episode, and be sure to share it with your friends. So with that, we bid you adieu.
Thank you so much, Brandon. This has been great.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.